vision for the future.
On World News Tonight this Thursday, counting the hours to the next millennium and trying to keep America safe. The FBI arrests another man accused in a terrorist plot. Across the country, security to the hilt. No caution is spared for New Year's Eve. What does the man who first warned us about the dangers of Y2K have to say about it now? And when the future becomes the present, we'll take a look at what people once predicted the world would be like today.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings. Sitting in tonight, Jack Ford.
Good evening. The new millennium is getting very close, and for law enforcement officials racing to protect against violence, the pressure has rarely been so high. Across the country today, the FBI questions scores of people who allegedly have ties to terrorist organizations, and in New York City, an arrest of particular significance and a further sign of a terrorist conspiracy on American soil. Here's ABC's John Miller.
FBI agents raided this apartment building in Brooklyn and arrested an Algerian named Abdel Ghani. Officials would not say much publicly at first, but tell ABC News Ghani is charged with providing support and materials in a plan to bomb Americans. Sources say Ghani was in Seattle, allegedly to meet Ahmed Rassam as part of a bombing plot. But Rassam was captured with the explosives as he tried to cross the border from Canada. 2 days later, Ghani returned to New York. For 2 weeks, FBI agents have had Ghani under surveillance at this building and a tap on his telephone, which sources say revealed several suspicious-sounding conversations. But today, neighbors said Ghani did not strike them as someone who would be involved with terrorists.
I'm surprised right now. Hopefully it's not true.
This afternoon, FBI agents and New York police from the Joint Terrorist Task Force used bomb-sniffing dogs to search a storage locker rented by Ghani, looking for more clues. Federal prosecutors also revealed today they've uncovered connections between Rassam, the accused bomb courier, and Lucia Garofalo, who was arrested in Vermont, allegedly trying to smuggle another Algerian into the United States. In court papers filed today, they revealed Garofalo had financial dealings with Rassam's former roommate, Saeed Atmani, who has been linked to a terrorist group.
We have disclosed his connection with the GIA, and the GIA being an extremist Algerian organization.
Around the country, FBI and immigration agents fanned out to question people who had any connection to Rassam. And in New York, Boston, Dallas, and Los Angeles, they questioned scores of people who were suspected of having connections to terrorist organizations. Some were detained on immigration charges. Investigators trying to determine who is ultimately behind the bombing plot tell ABC News they have uncovered some communications between members of the GIA, the Algerian terrorist group, and a key lieutenant of terrorist leader Osama bin Laden in Afghanistan. John Miller, ABC News, New York.
These allegations of terrorist plots can only reinforce the concerns of authorities trying to keep New Year's safe. Around the country, law enforcement officials are taking every precaution against the threat of millennial violence. Here's ABC's John Cochran.
In Las Vegas, they are not gambling on security. Instead, they are erecting barricades to restrict access to casinos. At Niagara Falls, an abandoned car on an international bridge triggered a search. Police are still testing for bomb-making residue. In Seattle, just canceling the New Year's bash at the Space Needle was not enough. Now they're fencing it off just to make sure. In Los Angeles, where one official told ABC News we are on a war footing, security agents were ready when a Malaysian airliner landed this morning. A tip from informants warned of 3 terrorists on board, but none were found. And late today, a Chilean airliner returned to the airport after reporting a bomb threat on board. Security officials are believed to be on the biggest alert since World War II.
In terms of a terrorist threat, they're absolutely better prepared than they've ever been.
Certainly that is true in New York City, where holiday leaves for police have been canceled, and frogmen will patrol the waters of the East River looking for explosives. In Washington, where the president will be attending the Millennium Celebration along the Mall, bridges will be closed and several thoroughfares are already off limits to traffic. After this weekend, can the country finally relax? Afraid not, says a former director of both the FBI and the CIA.
If I were a terrorist, I wouldn't particularly want to do it.
now. I'd want to do it when the guard was down, when I could pick my time, when I could pick my place, pick my weapon.
In the absence of solid information about a major terrorist threat this weekend, is there too much security? Not according to the experts who say there's always too much security until something happens, and then there's not enough. John Cochran, ABC News, the White House.
With the millennium only hours away, many people are working down to the last minute to fend off the Y2K bug and gearing up to fight back if anything serious does go wrong. The mood remains very confident, but as ABC's Jackie Judd reports, there do appear to be some rough spots.
A final search of the computers that air traffic controllers rely on turned up a faulty code. An internal FAA memo said the likelihood of it causing even a momentary break in data used to direct planes was small. Still, the agency made the fix this morning.
The patch is in. It's been fixed. We're very confident.
The federal government now has 10 response centers across the country staffed round the clock. So far, not much to do. State officials in Massachusetts are preparing to go underground to a Cold War-era bunker built to withstand a nuclear war. In Los Angeles, police are preparing for the problem of celebrants who bring in the new year by firing guns into the air. The police will be using a new computer program called ShotSpotter, which traces where the bullets come from.
The call-back system will kick into place and automatically dial the residences around this particular area relative to seeking information about the shot.
Some cities already know things will not go as planned. In London, the world's biggest Ferris wheel will not have any passengers on its inaugural spin at midnight because of safety problems. In Washington, the city's biggest private party has been canceled for lack of interest. But in New York, something did go as planned. At today's dress rehearsal, the giant ball over Times Square dropped right on cue. Jackie Judd, ABC News.
Britain is suffering from yet another millennial glitch. Most of the tickets to its official party in the brand new Millennium Dome didn't get mailed in time. Only half of the 10,000 invitees might now attend, and people will have to line up in the cold to get their tickets. In a moment, a close call for former Beatle George Harrison as he's stabbed at his own home. And later, what the fax machine, communism, and the letters C, X, and Q have in common: a century of predictions.
This is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings. Brought to you by Alka-Seltzer.
I was about as miserable as a girl could be. Heartburn worse than yesterday's coffee. And pain. My antacid didn't do the whole job. And Pepcid takes so long. Then I tried Alka-Seltzer. It just plain worked better.
Alka-Seltzer, the only one with the medicines to relieve all your symptoms.
It really works fast.
And only Alka-Seltzer has the effervescent power to speed relief.
Alka-Seltzer. It made a believer out of me.
Get better relief. Get Alka-Seltzer. If you put something off for an entire year, how would people describe you? Lazy? A procrastinator? How about smart? Introducing Mitsubishi's 000 till 01 event. Buy any Mitsubishi and pay 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments until 2001. Hey, why do today what you can do? Mitsubishi's 000 till 01 event ends January 3rd.
You know, my friend Mr. Moretti, he worries about the arthritis pain in my hands. So he came with me to the doctor. Now I am on a wonderful treatment.
Tylenol Arthritis Extended Relief. Take comfort in our strength.
In Tampa, Florida today, a gunman killed 5 people in a shooting that began at a Radisson hotel packed with fans for a New Year's football game. 3 others were critically injured. The shooter was an employee at the hotel, and 4 of the people he killed worked there as well. He was arrested after escaping and killing yet another person. Police say that right now, they don't know the man's motive. In Britain today, police said it was a man who may have been obsessed with the Beatles who stabbed George Harrison. The man broke into Harrison's country home and attacked him. It was in December, 19 years ago, that another fan killed John Lennon outside of his New York City apartment. As ABC's Sheila McVicker reports, doctors say Harrison is very lucky.
Early this morning at the Harrisons' 100-room country mansion, Michael Abram evaded security and entered the house. The Harrisons were asleep in their bedroom. There was an altercation, and George Harrison was stabbed in the chest. Olivia Harrison swung a bedside lamp, hitting Michael Abram and knocking him out. A member of their staff called police, and the Harrisons were taken to a hospital.
The main injury is about there.
And how wide is it?
It's fairly small.
Doctors say George Harrison has a partially collapsed right lung. He was well enough today to show a flash of humor in conversations with hospital officials.
I've got a quote from Mr. Harrison, and he said that the intruder certainly wasn't intent on a burglary, and he certainly wasn't intent on an audition.
Michael Abram's mother said today her son has a long history of psychiatric illness, that he was obsessed with the Beatles and believed they were witches. After John Lennon was murdered by a deranged fan 19 years ago, Harrison retreated from the public eye. He was known to be concerned about his safety. There have been problems here before with security. Police say that just last year someone broke into the house. After that, the Harrisons added the barbed wire and security cameras. That was not enough. The musician who sang so sweetly about his faith and mystical philosophies, who had already admitted his fear of crowds, may now choose to retreat behind even higher walls. Sheila McVicker, ABC News, Henley-on-Thames.
In Afghanistan, some signs of progress in talks to free more than 150 passengers aboard a hijacked Indian Airlines jet. One passenger was allowed to leave the plane briefly for cancer treatment, and Afghanistan officials say that negotiations between India and the hijackers are progressing. At issue is how many militants India would free to end the standoff. On Wall Street today, stocks were down as investors cashed in, or cashed out, if you would, on soaring technology shares. The Dow dropped more than 31 points to close at 11,452. Meanwhile, on the NASDAQ, stocks were down more than 4 points. Just ahead, tracking missiles and potential Y2K mistakes.
Oh, come on, you can't stay another day?
I wish I could. I'm just so crazed with the new job. I don't have time to figure out my finances.
We went through the same thing when we got this house. And with the new baby coming, we need his help.
So what'd you guys do?
Called T. Rowe Price.
Really?
Yeah, it was great. It really helped simplify things. Give him a call.
Okay, I will.
What a big brother's for, right? Come on, get out of there, you. Bye.
T. Rowe Price, helping people invest with confidence for over 60 years.
All right, kid. Here we go. What do you got? What do you got? Yeah. All right, come on.
What would you do if someone you loved had a heart attack? Did you know it's now been proven that the same Bear aspirin you have in your bag for muscle aches may actually help stop you from dying if you take it during a heart attack?
Downtown. Lucky shot.
Can your pain reliever do that? Talk to your doctor now.
Next time I'll go easier on you.
Bear, powerful pain relief and so much more.
Every year we surprise someone with $10 million. But not this year.
Publishers Clearinghouse kicks off the 21st century with $21 million on TV Super Bowl Sunday. Watch your mail or go to PCH.com and enter.
Just when you think you have the latest computer, you don't. But for $37 a month, get an Intel Pentium 3 processor and a free color printer with the Gateway PC. And with the YourWare program, trade it in toward the purchase of a new one after 2 years. Call 1-800-GATEWAY.
Quick Dissolve Maalox contains calcium.
Get more calcium than regular Tums with new Maalox Quick Dissolve Chewable Antacid.
The calcium is an added plus, definitely.
And it dissolves faster than Tums.
I can't improve on that.
Quick Dissolve your heartburn away and get more calcium.
In Russia, leaders are reassuring an uneasy public that everything from the Mir space station to the country's railroads is Y2K compliant. But the U.S. isn't taking any chances. Today, U.S. Embassy workers in Moscow were allowed to leave temporarily in case essential services like heat or electricity should fail. And Russia itself may be hinting the country isn't prepared by turning to the U.S. for help. ABC's Tom Foreman is in Colorado. Near Cheyenne Mountain, home of the world's most sophisticated center for tracking nuclear missiles, the morning got off to a rough start. Russian and American officers could not establish a hotline to Moscow. It took only minutes to fix, but had officers reassuring the public.
All of our systems are certified and are Y2K compliant. We are Y2K ready, and I do not have any concerns in that arena.
U.S. officials were concerned enough about potential problems with the Russians to invite them to take advantage of this American military technology. Satellites constantly feed information into military computers here about every missile launch, large explosion, or forest fire anywhere. By comparison, the Russian early warning system has large blind spots, and it is believed to be much more susceptible to Y2K computer and electrical problems. Both Russian and U.S. military officers say it is very unlikely that a computer glitch alone could cause a missile to launch. What they are watching for is a chain of events which might wind up with a human error. In 1995, the Russians picked up a Norwegian research rocket and thought it was an American attack. They prepared to launch missiles. That is what this joint venture is supposed to prevent. The information we get from our counterparts, the Russians say, lets us solve all the problems. But just in case, both sides will be here watching each other until the middle of January. Tom Foreman, ABC News, Colorado Springs.
So you think you're sick of hearing about Y2K? Well, consider the case of Peter DeYager. You may not recognize the computer consultant's name, but ABC's Kevin Newman reports that no one is more tired of talking about Y2K than he is.
I would be very, very happy never to hear Y2K again.
And Peter DeYager really, really means it. He first warned of a computer doomsday in a trade publication in 1993.
I mean, this is the biggest, dumbest, stupidest, most idiotic blunder in the history of technology, and we have to communicate that.
But people thought he was a crackpot. Then, 2 years later, the Washington Post picked up on the story. Then news magazines. Then network news. Then it really did get crazy. A cartoon DeYager as a prophet of doom or a bug swatter. And the ultimate in pop culture, DeYager as a rap lyric.
DeYager, what are we gonna do? DeYager, technology's lost its screw. DeYager, what do you have to say?
It's a curse. This became a curse. I couldn't get off this. I couldn't, even if I'd wanted to get off it, I couldn't have.
But it worked.
The estimates are that we have spent, get this, $311 billion on this problem.
And doomsday's been avoided?
Doomsday has been avoided. The terrible scenarios that we spoke about in the early days are no longer possible.
DeYager is so certain that nothing major will happen that on New Year's Eve he's flying from London to Chicago, which at midnight should put him right about there, over the Canadian island province of Newfoundland. And if by chance something small happens, well, don't expect sympathy from Peter DeYager.
The code was broken. You should have fixed it by now. If you didn't, good luck.
Kevin Newman, ABC News, Toronto.
And in a moment, Peter Jennings will join us from Times Square.
A significant discovery in eye health may be lutein, a nutrient found in these healthy foods. Now Centrum has the only leading multivitamins with lutein to help maintain your precious sight. Centrum Silver, now more complete with lutein.
Worried about Y2K? Get a new Buick. Why? Let's say the city goes dark. Buick's headlights come on automatically. Very clever. No heat, dual climate control. So get cozy in your comfy power seat with your portable TV and watch the test pattern. During Buick's Not to Worry event, get a Century 2000 Special Edition with a Millennium offer worth $2,000, just in time for the year 2000. No blow dryer? Sunroof.
This is the face of erectile dysfunction. So is this. And this. Fact is, 1 in 3 men have some form of ED, a medical condition also called impotence that affects men of every age, race, and background. What else do all these men have in common? They all faced up to their problem and got help. If you're experiencing ED, there's no need to hide your face. Just talk to your doctor. It's the best way to get educated about ED and how to treat it.
When dentures dream, they see the perfect denture cleanser. One with the stain-fighting power of Efferdent and the freshening power of Listerine. Well, little friend, dream no more. It's really here. It's called Efferdent Plus. It's extra fresh, and nothing gets your dentures cleaner. Efferdent Clean and Listerine Fresh. That's Efferdent Plus.
Hey, Annie Matthews. What's on your plate today?
Today's going to be great, but really busy. 10, maybe 15 cuts.
Lunch here, Annie.
I'll probably grab a quick bite when I can.
Annie, your 2 o'clock's here.
And maybe get heartburn. I used to think Tums if I'd already eaten. Not anymore.
You can take Pepcid AC whenever you need it. Pepcid AC controls heartburn before, during, or even after you eat.
Of course I can take you.
No matter what's on your plate, today should be heartburn-free with Pepcid AC.
Well, here we are after a whole year at the last installment of our series on the 20th century, with the excitement of the 21st just around the corner. At the beginning of this century, the doomsayers of the day thought man wouldn't make it this far. And just before 1900 dawned, there was no shortage of people who thought they knew what life would be like if we did survive. Some were right on. Some were ridiculous. Tonight, predictions. Horseless carriages, spaceships, the fax machine. The science fiction of Jules Verne in the 1860s. Imagine that. By the turn of the century, the urge to predict was irresistible. From the Ladies' Home Journal, the Christmas edition of 1900, the letters C, Q, and X will disappear from the alphabet. They will no longer be necessary. By 2000, America will be a nation of fitness fanatics. Every man, woman, and child will walk 10 miles a day. The house of the future with spigots for hot and cold air, heat and air conditioning. The most popular novel of the turn of the century, Looking Backward by the socialist Edward Bellamy, envisioned drastic social change.
Edward Bellamy projected the world to the year 2000 and assumed the great and beautiful way in which the world would now be open to everybody and all problems would be solved. A central state authority would tell people where to work, what to do.
Communism has since come and gone.
If it doesn't fit, you must acquit.
Bellamy also predicted that lawyers would become obsolete by the end of the century because lying would no longer exist. In 1964, Daniel Bell ran the Commission on the Year 2000.
The framework was what I'd call post-industrial society. The major dimension was a reduction in manufacturing and the rise of services.
Finding everything okay?
Bell's group predicted the decline of the family, the disappearance of the deficit, and the threat to personal privacy. In 1964, the political scientist and futurist Herman Kahn predicted the personal computer, the pager, and the VCR.
Everybody has his own special dream of what the world's going to be like in the future.
Including the personal helicopter, the apartment building as a self-contained city. Almost. The megalopolis, one city, for example, between Boston and Washington. Almost. The personal robot.
Who? Me? Yes, you. Okay, Toots.
He's almost human.
In 1967, it was Glenn Seaborg, then head of the U.S. Atomic Energy Commission, who predicted that every housewife of the new millennium would have a robot maid to sweep, dust, wash, and pick up your husband's clothes. Well, not quite. But Seaborg also foresaw a much broader use of the fledgling computer, which would be connected to networks of other computers allowing shopping and banking and access to the latest news. Imagine that. Imagine that. And now we're all imagining tomorrow, for which we're preparing. We'll be back in just a moment.
There's my husband, Nolan Ryan, still throwing heat. Can you believe he's got arthritis? You see, Nolan's doctor says the best way to control arthritis pain is to keep moving. And to make it easier, he recommends Advil. Nothing's been proven stronger on arthritis pain, yet it's gentle on his stomach. In fact, I take Advil for my arthritis pain. That way, we can exercise together.
Advil, stronger than pain.
Planning a holiday party? Make it a very splashy event. Serve a seafood platter from Red Lobster. Shrimp, crab, or both. Either way, it's seafood worth celebrating. Order yours today. Every year I say, I'm going to quit smoking. Day later, I'm at it again. Till this year. See this? My last piece of Nicorette gum. Been smoke-free with Nicorette now for 12 weeks. With Nicorette, I help control my cravings two-way. I used it on a regular schedule to help curb them, and then for unexpected cravings, I took another piece. And now, no more craving, no more nicotine. Happy New Year.
For a better quit date, you'll have to wait another 1,000 years. You can do it. Nicorette can help.
I may look young, but I still suffer from hot flashes. I discovered a natural way to deal with this. New Healthy Woman from the makers of Monistat. Healthy Woman's a soy menopause supplement that helps relieve hot flashes in a natural way. New Healthy Woman.
Tonight, he made a fortune as a child star everyone loved to watch. But who was watching out for him and his millions?
I kept getting told, don't spend so much. Why?
The roller coaster life of Gary Coleman, 2020 tonight.
Coming up next on Channel 2 News, not going to Pioneer Square for the Big Bash. We'll tell you what else you can do to ring in 2,000. And the new year means tax time, and we'll have last-minute tips to cut the cost. Hi, everybody. I'm Steve Dunn. News to Northwest is next.
Finally this evening from here in Times Square, we are getting close. In just a few hours, the first midnight and then the first sunlight of the new millennium. Across the world broadcasters are flexing their technical muscles, trying to work out the final kinks so that billions of people can be joined for this celebration in a unique way. Across the oceans, from the South Pole to Newfoundland, all across Europe, Asia, and Africa, and throughout the United States, engineers are checking the lines and the satellites to see that everything works when it's supposed to.
Yes, I hear you, Roger.
For 24 hours, we will celebrate with the world in both modern and ancient ways. And we will talk to the world about the dreams and hopes that people have for the 21st century. Where will science and technology take us? What can the United States do about so many wars still being fought? What must be done about children in poverty, AIDS in Africa? Will religion and spirituality survive or strengthen in a world order that is changing at the speed of light? From sunup to sundown in every corner of the world, 39 midnights in the 20th century, all those new dawns in the 21st. And that is our report on World News Tonight. I hope it's not too early to say we hope you have a fabulous new year. We're going to begin celebrating and commemorating this with the rest of the world at 4:50 a.m. Eastern Time. That's when the first midnight arrives in the Pacific. We hope you'll spend some time with us throughout the day. Until then, I'm Peter Jennings. Good night from Times Square.
This has been a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source.